Good superstars, back with another video today, going over the 50-50 hedge portfolio, YieldMax, MSTY Winter. Wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update after 2 weeks of being invested and receiving distributions. Where are we at? We've had obviously a huge downturn in the market over the last week and a half or so, with a nice little rebound in the last couple of days. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on how it's been going. For those of you who are new here, this portfolio, I've invested $1,000 in my RRSP. I'm in Canada. I use Wealthsimple brokerage. Again, this is a case study just to see, can I buy the inverse funds of one another, which also pay distributions and end up positive at the end of this case study. We'll see. But right now, I buy 50% of each inverse high yield fund. So this one I'm doing MSTY and Winter. Manually drip the distributions, track the results, and then you have to like the video and subscribe to the channel. This is just part of the rules. I don't make the rules, but I do make them. But I don't make the rules, and you guys can just follow along. But anyway, I am not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. It's a case study just to show you guys my results. And someone gave me this idea on Blossom, I believe it was, and I wanted to see if it would play out and how it would play out. But again, we did have a downturn right when I started this in the market, so I wanted to show you guys the results. Initial budget was $1,000. My current value is $965.43. I'm down $34, and I'm down 3.46%. This is just a conversion for US to Canadian. This is if I now I've actually updated my accounts on Wealthsimple. They have this feature I didn't even realize. You turn it on, you get a US account, so all my distributions are now entering my US account in US dollars, so I can drip them in US funds, so I don't have the issue I was having before where if I buy in Canadian and then the conversion, I'm not getting exactly the dollar amount that I would expect or need to get. So this was kind of like for overflow. So for right now, now that I have the USD funds being reinvested, it's been pretty straightforward. The book of my when I first started, it was 50-50, so it was $500 in each. Now you can see I've put in $540 into MSTY and $497 into Winter. How come? Because we have received some distributions, and as you'll see here on the right side, the white is projected, so that's based off of the distribution percentages that are shown on YieldMax's website, but the actual are in green. So the green, they've been outperforming, well, at least MSTY has been outperforming what was expected, which is 674, and then Winter has been slightly underperforming, but overall we're expecting $19.19, and we were getting over 20 on both weeks, which is really good. What I thought to do, and I think I'm going to continue to do this because I feel like it's had pretty good success considering the downturn in the market, and we know that the cover call ETFs don't really hold up amazing from YieldMax on the downswing. I think I've done pretty well. I started in the hole 1.5%. The last video I made was the beginning of the downturn. I think we were down 2 point something percent. Then we obviously had that huge fall off, especially when it comes to MSTY, and obviously Winter is the inverse. But to be down only 3.4% right now, I think is pretty good. This week we still have to receive a distribution on Friday, which should help that. Obviously, I think it'll drop by that price in the NAV, but then you get the distribution, and we'll see what happens. If this just keeps eroding and eroding and eroding down to like 15%, we might just call it a day here. But wanted to see how it works, want to see how it play out, so you guys can see how it works, if it's a viable strategy or if it's not a viable strategy. But anyway, like I said, the first week I got $20.39 in distributions. The next week I got $20.45 in distributions. And what I'm doing is I'm putting these into whichever one has less weight currently. So current weight. So this is the percentages right now. 41% MSTY because it's been beat up, and 58% Winter. So if I do get distributions again this week, they will be going towards MSTY in hopes that if Bitcoin does rebound, having a ton more shares in MSTY on the rebound should help. And obviously, if that does rebound, Winter will start to come down because it's the inverse fund, at which point we can start to flip our funds into Winter if it makes sense to do that. It's going to be based off of who is positive and negative and what the situation is. But currently, all the distributions are going to be going towards MSTY just because it's been beat up, and we're going to be trying to dollar cost average at the bottom on that fund. I think this is the best way to do this. And you guys let me know what you think. I think it's a good strategy. I was going to just drip into themselves, but at that point I'm like, I'm buying winter at a high point. MSTY is down and beat up. I think I should be putting all the distributions into MSTY. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Do you agree with that? What do you guys think? We've already received 4.1% back of our original investment, but at the same time we are still down with that investment because this takes into account the drip. We're still down 3.4%. I hope that next week we see a better return, just because this week's been a positive week, and hoping that we continue to see that, and it's not just a fall off, and the markets are not down overall. But yet to be seen. We're going to see what happens. Again, whole point of the case study is to see, can you invest in these inverse funds, receive the distributions, and be positive, and have a total return at all of anything. So yet to be seen, but for now we're down, and the day we become positive, we'll have a celebration or something. I don't know. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a short one. I'm getting over a cold still. I don't know if you can tell from my voice. Try to put out more content this week. We'll see what happens, if I can get better. But yeah, definitely wanted to catch you guys up after a couple weeks on this one. Probably the next update on this will be after 1 month, and then we'll give you another update to see where we're at, if it's even viable to keep continuing. But for now, that is what it is. Guys, we'll see you in the next one. I love you. Bye.